run the expo run Android command.
Okay, we have an error here. So use auth request should be from the Expo session library. So let's add google dot use auth request. Save. Property button doesn't exist, so let's import button. So here it is now. Let's try to click the button, and it should redirect to the sign in with Google. Then choose a Google account, click continue, and it should be redirected here. But nothing happened. So for us to know the user information, we have to add an effect. So react dot use effect. We first had to import the import react. So let's import all as react from react library. Then react dot use effect. So a function. Then we will call an asynchronous function named handle effect. But we still haven't made uh, a handle effect function. So let's make one. So here it should be an asynchronous function and handle effect. Let's first log in the console if this function is being called. Okay, let's try to reload. Then click the button and select a Google account. Okay, console.log doesn't seem to work. Let's try console.warn. So it returns handle effect. Okay, then we have to uh, get the response. And when we call handle effect, we have to get the token that is returned. So let's first print the token. It's from response dot authentication dot access token. Okay, let's try to save, reload, then try to click login with Google. It now returns the token. So next is we are going to save the user information and the asynchronous storage. Let's first create another function named get user info and pass the access token. Let's now create the function. So constant get user info. It should also be an asynchronous function. Then it should accept the token. And if no to the token doesn't have a value, should terminate the function. Then let's add a try and catch statement. Then inside try, let's declare a response constant, and let's call the fetch function. Await fetch. The URL should be https://www.googleapis.com user info version 2 and me. Then let's add some headers. Headers, authorization, bearer, and the value of token. Then let's store the user info and the user constant equals await response.json. Okay, next is let's try to um, print the value of user. And let's hide this one. I'll comment that one. Reload. Then click login with Google. Select an account. So this is now the value from the Google API. We have the ID, the email, the name, the given name, and the picture. So we are going to store all of this uh, in the asynchronous storage. So to do so, let's store it. Await asynchronous storage set item. We are going to name it user. Then stringify the result. This one should be enclosed in a double quote. What else? Okay, so the user information is now stored in the asynchronous storage with the item name user. So next is we are going to display the user information or user details on the uh, on the screen. So we have to add an image, text, maybe just an image and a text. So above the button, let's add an image. Okay, we have to first import image. Okay, then a text first. A text for the um, full name and email or for some other information. Okay, we have here for the email address, email, then full name. Then let's get the value from the asynchronous storage. Wait, let's add first some designs. Maybe for the text, let's add the font size, maybe 20. Font weight, let's change it to bold. Then implement the style here. So style equals styles.text. Okay. Then also do so for the email. Okay, next is for the image, we should have a style. So image, just need the width, the height, the width and the height. Then implement the style here. So style, styles.image. Okay, there's now space for the image. So we also have to use a state to store the user information. So constant user information, then the setter method, set user info, calls react.useState. and the default value will be null. Should have a key. Okay, let's save that first. Try to reload. Okay, let's ignore this first for the image. Okay, then after storing the value in asynchronous storage, we are also going to store it in the user info state. So here, set user info and the value of user. Okay, then let's try to print the email from the user info. So here, user info dot email. Save. Okay. So we have to check first if user info is not null. So here, so if user info is not null, then we have to wait. If user info is not null, then we are going to print or display uh, this. And if it has a value, then we are going to hide the we're just going to display the button. Okay, let me check that. Image. Oh, let's enclose this in a view. Okay, move this here. Okay, so if the user haven't logged in, the login button will be displayed. But if the user have logged in, or if user info has a value, then the button will be hidden and the email, full name, and image will be displayed. So let's try to do it. So here's the email. Let's also display the full name. Just copy this one. And email, then name. Minimize. And the name. Oh, sorry. Then the image. The image source will be URI, user info, picture. Let's check. Oh, I have an excess. Save, reload. Okay, let's try to log in again. So here it is. But what happens is when you reload, the data or the user info became null again. But we have already stored the user information in the asynchronous storage. So we have to create another function to check whether we have already stored the user information inside the asynchronous storage. So here we have stored the user info in asynchronous storage. So let's create another function, constant get local user asynchronous, and let's store it in, or let's check the asynchronous storage and get the item named user. So if the data is null, we have to terminate the function, else we have to return the data. So where are we going to use this? So for inside handle effect, let's try to add here. So we will store the user information here. So await get local user. This function, this variable will first check if there is a user information stored inside the asynchronous storage. Then let's check. So uh, if this function returns null, we have to get the value from the API. So we will call get user info. So and else we are just going to get the value from the local storage, from the asynchronous storage. Okay, so if there's a value from asynchronous storage, we will call the setter method for the user info. So set user info, and the value will be user. So let's try to print first. Okay, let's try to print the value of the user from the asynchronous storage. Async storage user, then print the user, reload. Okay, no warning. Let's try to log in first. Okay, it returns an object. Let's try to reload. So it's now gone. Minimize. Then if asynchronous storage returns null, we are going to call this function. So where is it? This one. Let's try this and save. But how can we um, remove the value from asynchronous storage? Say the user wants to log out. So let's add another button. So right here. So if the user is logged in, let's add the button. So let's just copy this one. Remove async storage value. Then here, let's just replace this with so it's an asynchronous function and await async storage dot remove item named user. Save. Click this one. Oh, nothing happened. Okay, let's try to reload. Okay, then log in with Google again. Okay, click the user. Okay, try to reload. Then reload. So the user, logged in user is still here. But once we click remove a 6 storage value, then reload the app. So we now have to log in again. Okay, so we are just going to have to check this on OS X if it also works. But for Windows, that's all you have to do. So same configuration, just using a different operating system.